Now you're thinking about making your resume, but you're wondering which resume fits best for you. Each resume should have your name, your address. My recommendation is using the city, state, and zip code. Your phone number, or your video phone number, or even your cell phone. You could put both down as well. An appropriate email address. Another kind of resume is called combination. At the top, you should have the summary of qualifications or the objective, and then next would be your hard skills. Also add your professional work history. You should have a minimum of 2 to 3 jobs listed. And then your education. Another kind of resume is called chronological. At the top of the resume, you should have the summary of qualifications, also the objective, your professional work experience. Make sure you have your most recent job listed first. Not your first job from 20 years ago. No. Your first job should be last. Education. Your skills and abilities. You should have hard skills and soft skills. Another kind of resume is called functional. On that resume at the top, you should have your summary of qualifications or the objective, any skills relevant to the job you applied for, your work history. Be careful if you have a gap in between your work histories. I will explain that on the next slide. Education. If you have no or a little bit of experience, this is how you could put it on your resume. At the top, you'll have qualifications of summaries or the objective, your professional work history or experience. Also, you could put down volunteer or both, and then your education, skills. Always use hard skills and soft skills. And then, this is optional. If you receive like a team award, like an achievement, that they were proud of you and you received that award, you could put that down. Or if you have hobbies or interests, you can only use that if it's related to the job. For example, if you applied to be a cook, and during the weekend or on holidays you enjoy making different foods for your families, or a wedding, or a business event, that's a hobby you enjoy, and it's related, so you could add it on your resume. Not if you enjoy to travel. Like, let's say you travel and you enjoy food. You could add that because it's related to cooking. But not if you just travel to visit family. No, you don't want to put that because it's not related, and it's not related to that job. Infographic. That you could select different kind of designs, different colors, shapes. That's really good for a web designer or somebody who has technology skills. in that type of position. At the top, you show your introduction. And then there's different sections on the resume. You could place them at different places on the resume, like your skills or your work history. It does not have to be in an order of a list, but you could place it on different parts of the resume with different colors. You want to make sure you have your work history put down. Remember, keep it simple. Too much is really distracting, and it might be confusing for the supervisor when they read it. Another resume is a federal resume. So if you apply to a federal job, for us deaf, hard of hearing, deaf blind, deaf disabled, you'll have to request a Schedule A letter. You can get that from VR. What you need to put down on a federal resume is your citizenship or your veteran preference. And then your highest GS, which is really your security clearance. And where you prefer to work, which state, which county. And then you want to put the objective and list your work experience, but you must have the name, address, salary, the date you started and finished, your skills. It's more detailed for sure. Here's a tip. Remember, if you work and then you stop, there's a gap, then you go back to work, and then there's another gap in employment, you could add something that you are doing, like volunteering. Here's an example. If you help your neighbor, for example, you bring them to the doctor or you go shopping for them, you could add that. If you take care of your family or friends' pets or children, you could add that. That's a skill. It doesn't matter if you're paid or not. It's still a skill and ability. It shows that you're responsible. Another example is if you tutor in reading or math, you could add that to the resume as well. Let's say you help a church organization pack and organize boxes. So if you have those gaps in the resume, you could add where you volunteered, and it will show the supervisor you have been busy learning different skills. And it adds responsibility. Let's say if you're a stay-at-home mom or dad and you volunteer at the school, or you go on class trips, or you help with the kids during lunchtime, you could add that as volunteer time. You need to be creative. Don't leave any gaps, because it will look bad. So you need to be creative and think about all the things you did and add them to your resume. That shows your skills and abilities. If you need help, contact your job coach, VR counselor, your pre-ed specialist, or professional friends and family. Happy job hunting.